Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video is just a brief rundown of the weekend's action. Well, the main fights at least. I've not seen everything, and I've already done a post-fight review for Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri in a separate video. But I guess we'll start with Dimitri Bivol versus Umar Salamov. He retained his WBA light heavyweight title with a resounding unanimous decision over his compatriot Umar Salamov. Now this was a one-sided fight from start to finish, and in my opinion, this was Dimitri Bivol's best performance for quite some time. Dimitri Bivol, of course, has been rather inactive in the last couple of years, and his last two performances against Lenin Castillo and Craig Richards, I wasn't that impressed with Dimitri Bivol. I was expecting much more from him in both of those fights, but it was like he couldn't get out of first gear, and I was speculating at the time maybe that was down to inactivity and not getting the opponents that he wanted. Maybe he wasn't motivated. But regardless, whatever the reason, I wasn't impressed with him against Craig Richards and Lenin Castillo. So going into this fight, I really wanted to see Dimitri Bivol back to his best, and I think he was close to it against Umar Salamov. This was closer to the Bivol in the Jean Pascal, Joe Smith Jr. and Sullivan Barrera fights. He was closer to that level against Umar Salamov, and maybe that was because he respected Umar Salamov a bit more. Maybe he respected the power, the strength, the size, because Umar Salamov going into this fight, he had scored quite a lot of knockouts. He beat sort of fringe level light heavyweights like Emmanuel, Anim, Bob Ajasafe, and he beat those guys comfortably. So maybe Bivol just saw Salamov as more of a threat than Craig Richards and Lenin Castillo, hence the better performance, but he was so much sharper in this fight. His footwork and how he was moving was excellent. He basically negated the power punching of Umar Salamov. He made Salamov resort to throwing one punch at a time because of the angles, because of the distance control, because of the movement. Salamov, previously, when he fights, he does like to put his punches together when he can, but he just couldn't do it against Dimitri Bivol. Bivol wasn't there to be hit, and yeah, Bivol was just constantly keeping Umar Salamov off balance. And yeah, Salamov was rarely set to throw punches, and as a result, Dimitri Bivol then completely outboxed Umar Salamov, obviously working behind that lovely jab, one of the best jabs in boxing in my opinion, the 1-2. What I liked in this fight as well from Bivol was his, he would kind of draw Umar Salamov in, take a half step back, and tag him with like a counter left hook kind of thing. When Dimitri Bivol threw his lead uppercut, it was a good shot for him. Salamov was open for that because he was crouched down a little bit and he was coming in straight lines. His head was right on centre line, and it was there for the uppercut. The guard wasn't tight enough to block it, so the lead uppercut of Bivol, when he used it, was a great punch. What else I enjoyed from Bivol in this fight, on the occasion where Umar Salamov would land a good shot, Dimitri Bivol would immediately go back for his comeback. He'd throw combinations to try and answer when he got hit. So all in all, this was a very good boxing display by Dimitri Bivol. I know his style is not going to be for everyone, but technically he is extremely sound. Again, one of the criticisms is that he doesn't go through the gears. You know, when he does throw combinations, he really gets guys' attention, but he never really steps through the gears as much as you'd like to see. But that's just his style. His boxing skills at light heavyweight will give anybody problems, and I want to see Bivol in the hardest fights now. I want to see Bivol fight the winner of Joe Smith Jr., Callum Johnson. I want to see Bivol fight the Beterbiev, Marcus Brown winner. Even Gilberto Ramirez would be a great opponent for Dimitri Bivol. So that's the sort of fight I want from him next in an ideal world, but we'll see if it can happen. Also this weekend, Vasily Lomachenko continued his quest to regain his lightweight belts. He beat former champion Richard Kome by a lopsided unanimous decision. And in this fight, I have to say, Vasily Lomachenko looked excellent. I've been very impressed with Lomachenko post-Lopez. That defeat to Lopez seems to have lit a fire under him. He seemed super motivated, and we saw that against Richard Kome. He bossed this fight essentially from start to finish. Maybe you could give Kome a round, but I would struggle to give Kome much more than that. Kome was very tough, he was very brave, he came to fight, he tried to throw with Lomachenko, but he was just getting pieced up, he was getting outclassed, in the pocket especially, and that's one thing about this fight I liked from Lomachenko. He was ultra aggressive, but he wasn't utilising as much movement as he usually does when he would take the angle, change the angle to mount his attacks in the pocket. In this fight, he was literally just standing with Richard Kome and almost, just banging it out in the pocket. Kome tried to respond with body shots, and some got through, but I feel a lot of people out there are overestimating what actually got through. Lomachenko is doing a great job in this fight of defending those body shots. He was doing excellent at catching the body shots in the pocket, and he was coming back with his own hurtful shots. And in round 7, Vasily Lomachenko put a beating on Richard Kome. He dropped him with a hard, short left hand. He backed Kome up to the ropes, and Lomachenko uncorked a real short left hand, which Kome didn't see. It dropped him hard. He was hurt, but Kome beat the count and continued. And he was hurt a couple more times in round 7. The only criticism I've got for Lomachenko in this fight, and it's a slight nitpick, it's a slight criticism, but he kind of took his foot off the gas after round 7. He basically just cruised after that and just played with Richard Kome. I do believe that the stoppage was there for Lomachenko, but who knows, maybe he didn't want to gas out down the stretch or overexert himself and maybe get injured. I'm not sure what the reasoning was for him stepping off a gas, but he certainly did. Like, round 7 was a big round, he dominated, and round 8 his punch output dropped considerably, and he really wasn't pushing for the stoppage, but nevertheless it was a dominant performance from Vasily Lomachenko. And again, post Teofimo Lopez, I think Lomachenko has looked excellent. Richard Kome, listen, he's a good fighter. He's a big, strong lightweight. He's a bit of a puncher. Again, he's not the greatest in the world, but he's a respectable fighter, a true top 10 lightweight, and Lomachenko just toyed with him, quite frankly. So yeah, onwards and upwards for Lomachenko. He's looking great right now. I want to see him fight George Kambosos. I think that's a great fight stylistically. Kambosos, of course, coming off the biggest win of his career. So that's the fight I want to see for Lomachenko next. I want to see Lomachenko fight George Kambosos Jr. I think that'll be a great fight. And I'm sure Lomachenko is more than willing to go to Australia. He's that sort of guy. So yeah, Lomachenko looked excellent. I was thoroughly impressed. I enjoyed his performance. Just a great showing by Lomachenko. He's looking great right now. Also in America, Nonito Donaire defended his WBC bantamweight title at the grand old age of 39. He knocked out mandatory challenger Raymart Caballo in the 4th round with a savage left hook to the body. It was quite uneventful before that, quite frankly, but Donaire found that body shot right in the ribs. Caballo went down. He actually tried to get up, so he took like an 8 count. He got up, and as soon as he got up, he went back down and took a knee and got counted out. I guess the pain was too much for Raymart Caballo. I wouldn't be surprised if he had his ribs broken, quite frankly. So Donaire is still going strong, man. 39 years old. He still punches extremely hard. And when you look at the bantamweight division, we know the fight to make. The rematch between Naoya Inoue and Nonito Donaire. That's a great fight. I'd also like to see Donaire fight John Riel Casimero as well, quite frankly. So yeah, Donaire is still looking good. And, at 39 years old, there's no time to waste. He needs to go into one of those big fights, in my opinion. But, congratulations to Nonito Donaire for putting on a really good showing and scoring a lovely body shot knockout. Sonny Edwards also made the first defence of his IBF flyweight title. He took on mandatory challenger Jason Mamar from the Philippines, and this was a routine display and a routine win for Sonny Edwards. I actually felt Jason Mamar started okay in the first 3 or 4 rounds. He was pressuring Sonny Edwards, and he got a couple of shots away, landed a couple of good shots, and maybe he won a round or 2 early on. But after the 4th round, Sonny Edwards completely took over, boxing and moving, walking, he was walking Jason Mamar onto shots, and he wasn't letting Jason Mamar be set for punches, and he completely outclassed, outboxed, outlanded, out-hustled, and essentially just toyed with Jason Mamar after the 4th round, and he actually dropped Mamar in I think it was the 10th round, I want to say. I'm pretty sure it was the 10th round. It was late on. It was kind of a cuffing shot, Jason Mamar being overly aggressive, kind of becoming frustrated. He kind of walked in. He got caught by Edwards. Then Edwards changed the angle and landed another shot, which dropped Jason Mamar. So yeah, a good routine win for Sonny Edwards. First defense of his IBF flyweight title. And say what you want about Sonny Edwards, but he is very effective at what he does. He is a world-class flyweight. I wasn't that high on Sonny Edwards a few years ago, but he has really impressed me recently. His performance against Maruti Maflane was excellent, and he looked good in this fight as well. Hopefully we can see Sonny Edwards try to unify at flyweight. The fights to make, of course, are Junto Nakatani and Julio Cesar Martinez. I think they're the toughest fights for Sonny Edwards. There's also Artem Dalakian, the Ukrainian champion. I believe he holds the WBA title, I believe. And I think Dalakian is more beatable than Julio Cesar Martinez and Junto Nakatani. I'm not saying Sonny Edwards can't beat those guys, but I think Dalakian is the weak link at flyweight. So there are some good fights for Sonny Edwards. So hopefully he gets one of these unification fights. I do believe he's actually got another mandatory as well. I'm pretty sure that is Ricardo Sandoval, who is a young fighter coming out of America. He's Mexican-American, I believe. And he looks very good. That could be a hard fight for Sonny Edwards. So even that would be a great fight. But yeah, a good performance by Sonny Edwards. He did what he had to do and won convincingly. And that is pretty much what I've seen this weekend. I have seen some of the prospect fights, like Big Baby Anderson, for example. He blew out Alexander Teslenko in a couple of rounds. I've seen Xander Zayas. But, that's pretty much what I've seen from this weekend. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Anything that caught your eye in particular, share your thoughts below. Peace.